Hi, I'm Angelica Hayton with Hayton Farms Berries. I am a fifth generation farmer. I mainly specialize in selling fresh organic berries at farmers markets in the greater Seattle area, Western Washington. I grew up on my parents' farm, and my parents still farm. My dad's the fourth generation. Each generation has taken its own path and changed. Like when my dad was a kid, he grew up, the farm was a dairy. The photo in the upper left-hand corner, we still have that barn on the farm, but that was their dairy barn. And then when he went off to college, he didn't think his dad would be able to handle it without him. So he convinced his dad to sell the cows and transition into crop farming. So my grandfather did, and focused mainly on like seed crops or growing peas, things that he could do himself and didn't need a large crew to help him. And then when my dad took over farming, he continued to do peas and got really big into making pea hay. He did it like him and my mom, but that was their main thing for a while, was doing hay. He was the first generation to do like fresh market crops, but it was like wholesale fresh market. So he grew when I was little, a lot of small pickling cucumbers to be made into like dill pickles. But then he also did slicing cucumbers, cauliflower, and then he started doing berries, but it was all for cannery to be made into like jam or ice creams and things like that. Then when I was like a teenager, like right before, like when I was 15, my sisters and I started taking some of the strawberries down to the farmers markets. And that was our first, and like it was around 2000 when we started, 2001. And it was, something new for the farm. It was really cool to like go retail because the price was way better than what my dad was used to getting, doing cannery or like wholesale stuff. So then from there, he was like, okay, let's try and do some raspberries and other berries to go to these farmers markets. They seem like they're like a good thing. And every year in Seattle, it seemed like more markets were popping up. And so we, sign up every year for all the new markets. And over the years, started planting more and more stuff just for like retail farmers markets and less so for the wholesale and like cannery. And then when I got done with college, I decided that I, definitely wanted to keep doing just this and really focus on the organic berries. So then when I got out of college, I realized I definitely wanted to make this my career and keep doing the farmers markets. And something that became really important to me was transitioning the berries to being certified organic. It was something for years at the markets we'd been asked like over and over again, like, oh, are your berries organic? And finally, I convinced my dad to let us transition the fields. And, he's really happy we did. It's been a really good thing for us. It sets us apart from our competition at the markets. And it was something that people that are going out of their way to shop at a farmer's market, a lot of them really care about that. I think a lot of farmers that sell at farmers markets have competition. And if you can get certified organic, that is one way to set yourself apart and offer something else. We started transitioning our fields in 2008. And so in 2010 was when we were then, starting to get our field certified organic. So before coronavirus, our main business model at the farmers markets was just first come, first serve, like farmers markets, no, like hardly any pre-orders, we couldn't take any prepayment, and it was working great. I'd take a little bit of restaurant wholesale orders that I didn't have a way to take payment. And I worried about just like keeping all of the restaurant orders organized because we were so busy with just trying to make it to all these markets. So it wasn't really something I was ever trying to get a lot of restaurant sales. After COVID hit, things in March and April this spring got a lot, like the markets were just shut down in Washington at first it was just going to be 1 month, and then it turned into 2 months. And as we started getting closer and closer to our start time, which was like the end of May, we were getting more and more feedback from farmers market managers. Hey, you guys need to figure out a way to take pre-orders, because customers were really worried about leaving their house and going to a market. So these market managers were getting a lot of questions from customers. Can we do like a pre-order and maybe a separate line for people picking up their pre-orders, and they don't have to wait in the big line? And it was a little difficult on my end because I didn't know how to really make that happen. And it seemed overwhelming because we do so many farmers markets. I was worried about, once again, how am I going to keep these orders organized? How am I going to accept payment on them? And the market managers were trying to figure it out too. They didn't really have that much information to guide us of like where to go. I had heard of Barn to Door and went and signed up the next week. I was still feeling intimidated by how is it all going to work, but it was awesome. The main thing was just like helping me get the online store live so I could put the inventory, like what we had, put all the pickups locations, so all the different farmers markets where people could pre-order, prepay, and pick up at the farmers market. So that was a huge deal. I had a lot of customers that would say, oh, whenever I get to the farmers market, you're sold out of strawberries and I can't get there because I'm working late, and can I pre-order a half flat? And I'd always feel really bad saying, no, we don't take pre-orders, because I didn't have a good method in place to keep track of everything. It was awesome when we got to make the store go live. Customers were, all spring, I had been getting emails and phone calls from customers being like, are you going to offer pre-orders? And I had to keep telling people, we think so, but check back. So it was great when the store went live to just be like, yes, we have a store, you can pre-order, you can prepay. And it was definitely what people wanted. Only so many people were allowed into the farmers market at one given time. It was for this Washington State farmers market. So if there were in King County, which is where most of our farmers markets were, if there were 20 vendors, then only 40 shoppers could be in there at a time. And we had, like safety measures in place, being 6 feet away from the shoppers. And it was great. People that had their pre-orders, some of them could get in a different line that was shorter and moved quicker. If they'd placed pre-orders, they could get into the markets quicker, get their orders, get out. It also allowed them just for more traffic throughout the day at the markets. So market managers loved if you offered pre-orders, because they were like, this is good for the whole market. It'll allow more people to come in if they've already paid. They're not wasting time paying at your booth. Pre-orders worked out great for us. We were really happy on our end, and our customers were really happy. A lot of repeat customers just used it all summer long. And so once we had the store up and that was running so smoothly, our next step was to take care of some of the other customers. There was still a lot of people that weren't comfortable leaving their home and going to the farmers market. People that were still wanting to isolate in their house. And I had been getting a lot of questions. Can you do home deliveries? Once again, this was something I had avoided at all costs earlier. I was just worried about figuring out logistics and payment and the route, and how would it be cost efficient, to be paying someone to deliver one half flat. And it totally was, because you can set a delivery fee. You can waive it if they spend X amount of dollars. So for us, we set that at $100. If someone spent $100, we would deliver for free. But a lot of people are spending less than $100, and then we would charge $10 for the delivery fee, which then ended up paying all these little delivery fees throughout the day would end up paying a lot of your employee's wage. I started with just one delivery route per week in a smaller zone. And it was super popular, figuring out the routes. There's certain different apps you can figure out the route that makes the most sense for your delivery driver. And it was such a hit, and people were so excited about it that I ended up making 2 delivery days and entering in more zip codes. I'd post online, like, here's the mix packs, like getting ready for home delivery. And I'd get comments like, hey, my zip code's not, in there. And it was easy to add in someone else's zip code. And it was great. Because of COVID, a lot of markets never did reopen, and adding these 2 delivery days was adding 2 markets to our weekly schedule. Sometimes the delivery trucks would have more fruit in them than even just a small farmer's market that we were going to. So it was that was really popular for us. Once we figured out that, we added even on a home delivery subscription, so people could sign up for a mixed berry half flat, which is what is the most popular at the markets, and they'd sign up for a 5-week home delivery. So that was great. People loved it, and it was something that I thought would be maybe hard on our end, and it wasn't. And it kind of made you keep those days busy, because you'd get some of those subscriptions and they were for 5 weeks. So you had all those reoccurring like orders. And so that was definitely something people were really excited about. We didn't have it right when the season started, so I think it'll be something really cool to offer the home delivery just right when our season starts next year. Having a lot of employees this summer and thinking of adding all this seemed like it was going to be like a daunting task, but it definitely wasn't. Every day for me, I set it at like orders have to be in at 10 a.m. the day before. So when I'm at my desk and it's 10 a.m. or after, I would just get on and be like, okay, so what do I have going out tomorrow? What do I need to like make sure I have in my inventory set aside? What's going to what market? Print out all the receipts, and it's all done for you. You just like type in, okay, generate my pack list and my pick list. So then you can get that ready. The invoices I would just like then print all out. I would set them like out for each market the day before and just make it a part of your routine. So, the first week of doing any one of these things, like your first week of your online store, your first week of home delivery, it's something new, but then like after that, it just becomes routine. And so for us, our offline brand, just being at the farmer's market, which is where we've been since the beginning, was okay, the fresh fruit brought down to the markets, and there was the social interaction, and people that were coming to those farmers markets, they wanted to have a connection with the farm, like where's their food coming from. But even online now with the new website and integrating that with like the Instagram and Facebook and store, people still want to have that connection. And what was cool with the brand online that Barn to Door helped us do is you could, with your social media posts, give people that were going to be purchasing online still like a look into like where they want to know where their food's coming from, see the photos. And it was cool to then be able to link that post to Instagram or Facebook and have links on those platforms to the store and the website. So then people that were normally just being able to get your stuff at the farmer's market and have that interaction with you, they were people that were going to go online still had that same interaction of knowing who you were and where their food was coming from. Before, when I would post something on Instagram or Facebook, it was just a dead end. Oh, hey, look, we've got black raspberries are new and like cool photo. And then that was it. And maybe people would be like, ooh, where can I get them? Can I like pre-order? And I would be like, oh yeah, you just got to get to your farmer's market, first come, first serve. And now I would make a post about something new we had, or look at these mix packs that we're going to offer, or we've got a new variety of blueberries starting. It's my favorite. And then we could link it, say, with the link tree that Barn to Door helped me set up. You could then say link in bio, go, and they could click from looking at your post on Instagram, click on your link in bio, which would give them 2 options to either go to the new store or your new website. And from the website, there's plenty of links to the store as well. So it gave people that were like online, like looking at Facebook or Instagram, if they saw something they liked, it gave them a way then to get it. And it connected everything together, because you don't think of like that much traffic just randomly typing in your website to find your store. But if you can make the posts on Facebook and Instagram, and people are on social media so much, and you start to notice like all these like sales that you just wouldn't have had without it. Like the people that were too afraid to like go to a farmer's market, they weren't, if you weren't offering the home delivery, they weren't going to go to the farmer's market and get your berries. And the people that wanted to pre-order at the farmer's market, like you didn't allow the pre-ordering, they weren't probably going to go in and just hope that you had stuff. They were probably going to find somewhere else to pre-order or somewhere else to get the home delivery. So for us, it definitely felt important to like, at a time where our shopper count at the farmer's markets was low, it was like an important thing to try and hold on to these customers before they just went somewhere else and found someone else that would offer a pre-order or would offer a home delivery. I guess to follow or up with everything, my advice to other farms would be, I think it's normal to be intimidated by this process, but you shouldn't be, because I was, worried about how it would all work, and it worked out really well for us this summer. I'm so excited we did it. Everything was super easy, and it all just worked so well for us in a time when we really needed it. Another advice I would have to other farms would be to not just settle for a payment system. We did look into that option before finding Barn to Door was, okay, we have an old website. We could just throw on a way to accept credit card payment on there. I'm really glad we didn't, because I feel like you're really losing the connection with customers. So at the farmer's market, of course, you have that connection. But if someone's then going to buy online and you don't have that connection, which people want, going with the Barn to Door and our new website and our online store, it's giving people that do care about where their food comes from, they still get to learn about the farm and like who they're supporting and what, like they want to see photos of the farm and your social media posts, and they're still feeling the connection that they used to have at the farmer's market online and feel good about their purchase. So it's definitely connecting everything instead of just a way for them to type in their credit card. I just, based on timing, ended up doing it right when our season was starting to get really busy, and it worked, and I'm happy I did it. But I would say, even though for a lot of farms, maybe they're coming into a slower part of their season, that this is a great time to figure it out and do it, because then when you do get busy and you have less time, you'll be all set and ready to go. Thanks for listening. And if you guys want to check out our Facebook or Instagram, there's our website too. Thanks.